Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video, I'm going to take you guys through the Fusion Reborn event for DBZ Dokkan Global. So in this event, it's a brand new event, which is great. That means a whole bunch of stones, a whole new method to farm hopefully some items, plus a new unit in Veku. So yeah, it looks pretty good from the onset. There are currently 7 stages, which all have, seven stages which all have 2 difficulties. That means in total there are 13 stones because stage 6 only has 1 difficulty. You can farm pretty good training locations from the first stage. It does have a category bonus for Otherworld Warriors, which is an okay category. It's a bit difficult to have a lead for this category, being the only leads being Int SS3 Goku and the Physical Frieza. But beyond that, you can obviously make quite a few teams around that. There are a couple of LRs in this team. You've got the Gogeta, you've got the Majin, well, the SS2 Vegeta in the Majin Buu saga, that physical LR. But yeah, so you've got quite a few options. But other than that, yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. In terms of free-to-play options for the team, there's not too many, barring this actual Veku that you have to farm. There are a couple like the GT Frieza, but they're not, actually at an awakened level, which means they give you minimal to the bonus. There is the Tech SS3 Goku, who we will be taking, and there is the Int Goku as well. There's also the Physical Angel Goku. So we do have 1 or 2 options. We'll definitely be taking some of them. And then yeah, overall, it doesn't seem to be anything too difficult in terms of this Dokkan event. Just take the Otherworld Warriors and then try and farm some of the stages. So we'll go through some of the stages, but in general, with these kind of videos, we obviously are focusing in on stage 6 and stage 7. So you will need to do stage 6 to get a total of 15 copies or 14 copies of Veku. You will need 1 copy, then 4 copies for his hidden potential, and then 9 copies to take his SA to level 10. You will also need to get 20 medals for him, which is not too bad, but they can drop a bit low if you don't have an Otherworld Warriors category based team. But yeah, beyond it, that's pretty much it for the stage. There is no self orbs for this Veku, unlike the April Fool's units. So you will just have to farm the Veku and give him orbs if you plan on using him. Overall, he looks okay. He seems like he starts off with a high base defense, high base attack, I should say, but then he loses that attack over time, but slowly increases his defensive capabilities in return to kind of meet out at a midway point. It seems okay. It seems more like a stopgap character for the Fusion Saga team, or maybe the Otherworld characters team, rather than it seems like a really good free-to-play card that's meant to be utilized, like how a Ghost Tanks is pretty much mandatory to have for the Fusion Saga SBR or the Fusion Saga ESBR. This Veku doesn't look like that. He looks like he's more stopgap. He looks like he's there to fill a hole if you're struggling to have all the units. He doesn't look like a long event unit, at least not for something like the LGE where they can lock dodging. But in any event where his dodging can remain prevalent, he does get up to 50% dodging, which is pretty good from a defensive point of view. So I don't want to rule him out for long events, because that 50% dodging can really come in hand for a lot of content. I mean, it does make you somewhat powerful up to a certain point. So yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. I don't know if it's going to be the most prevalent thing, but yeah, definitely keep that in mind when you are farming this Veku, when you are doing this event, that you can use him for quite a bit of content, but he's more going to be a stopgap. He's going to fill up a slot on your team if you just don't have the units for it, or if the units you do have, even the Awaken, are just not awakening into anything good. Then yeah, you're going to want to use this Veku. It's definitely kind of what he's aimed for. But in terms of the actual stages, nothing too new seems to be coming to mind here. There is this stage which you can select like a boss to fight, but it doesn't look like it determines much. I tried to take a look to see if it changes, anything in terms of what you get out of the stage, but yeah, it really doesn't seem like that big of a deal. So, barring that, the stage really didn't have too much else going for it, and this whole event didn't have too much in terms of like new gimmicks and that. The only annoying thing is stage 6, because stage 6 is pretty, I'm gonna say it's one of the more irritating unit farms that I've had to do in a while. So in stage 6, you have to basically just attack Janemba 6 times. Now I know on paper that doesn't sound too irritating, because Janemba's just gonna evade it each and every single time. But when you're farming for drops of a character and you have a low boost team, or even if you have a high boost team and you're not getting lucky, the fact that there's a set time limit on the stage, and that you have to click, 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 each and every single time, to go through 2 rounds of the stage, does basically double the length of the stage. And because it plays out an evasion animation, if you're getting super attacks, you're basically extending the length of time that you're going to spend farming that stage. I know it's a small nitpicky thing that's only really prevalent if you're, trying to do a lot of this content in a day, or farm this content, to try and obviously finish it for videos or other things like that. But it is relevant because, like I say, it's a weird, they sometimes do these weird things for like unit farms. They make them like slightly, not intense or anything, they just make them slightly more admin intensive, which, it's fine. It's not like the end of the world or anything, and no one's gonna throw their toys out of the cot just because they had to attack Janemba 6 times instead of attacking him once. But if you think about it logically, most of these events you clean off on the first attack. So having to attack 6 times and go through 2 rounds definitely, extends the period of time that one would be playing the game. So yeah, it's definitely just something you're going to want to keep in mind. They do use the Janemba's animation for some of the stages and that, which I think is really nice. It obviously just does help with, tying these events into the units. I think the event itself obviously follows the progression of the Janemba movie relatively well. It is based on the movie, obviously, so it does seem to follow it relatively well. I wouldn't say obviously it leaves out much, but the movie itself doesn't have like a lot of complexities going for it. It is essentially just someone getting trapped with all the sin energy of HFIL and then basically turning into Janemba. So yeah, beyond that, nothing really too out there about this stage. Beyond that annoying stage 6, I really actually quite like the stage. I quite like the amount of stones it gives us, and overall I think for the amount of stones it gives us, it's definitely a worthwhile stage. That definitely obviously brings to the party some new ways also to farm training items and training locations. So beyond the initial grind for Veku that you're going to have, where you may be slightly irritated, the rest that the stage brings to us is just really good. And I don't really think there's a need to complain about it at all, at least from my perspective. But yeah, so obviously I just did a little skip there, just to kind of remove some of the tedious grind, and then I thought we would just go back and do stage 6, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about in terms of the extra turns to attack Janemba. But yeah, Janemba, alright. The stage just takes a while. That's about it. Like I was speaking, before. There's not too much. Like if you've got this tech Goku, you maybe worry about him a little bit, but even then, you shouldn't do enough damage to take out all your health. And once that's done, you don't even. One nice thing is you don't have to beat him. It's not like his evasion ends and you have to kill him. You just basically need to attack him 6 times, which at the end of the day, is annoying but not difficult. So it actually technically makes the grind easier for characters or for players that don't have as good an account, who can maybe just kind of brick wall it out or just hope they have enough HP to survive and then collect, you know, copies of their crew. So yeah, in a way it's kind of better, but it's also not. But yeah, no, I definitely think they could have made this at least maybe give us a way to cancel the evasion. That would be quite cool, like even if it is with like maybe you need the strength Gogeta. I know it's not from the correct movie, but maybe something like that, or if you put the Veku in your team it will cancel the evasion. That would at least then make the event a little bit faster every now and then, which obviously would, yeah, add up in the end, rather than just kind of dictating things. But yeah, as you can see there, it does just take a while, and that's really just the thing. That's probably my only complaint as well about this stage. So beyond that, I have no problem. I actually really quite like this event. I think it's really good. I think it gives great rewards. So yeah, but now what we'll do is we'll just take a look at the Veku unit, and then we will just obviously jump across once we've finished all the missions and everything, and just take a look at stuff in greater detail. So yeah, he Dokkan awakens with 20 medals. We did discuss that earlier. He is a Otherworld Top Warriors lead, which, you know, he does raise his attack as well. And then he's got a decent link power, but he's got failed fusion. He's got some weird links in there that kind of don't really link with anyone, and I doubt we'll ever get like a DFE Veku unless we somehow get a transforming Gogeta or Gokan Vegeta that turns into Veku, maybe on a condition. But even then, it would just be weird. We maybe might get a, you know, free to play, what's his name? Is it G-Tanks or something like that? The skinny version, basically. So yeah, but we've now awakened him, and we will take just a look at the card in general, and just see if there's like a lot of uses for him, or if he can fit on teams. His stats are okay without orbs. Defense is a little bit low. Investing orbs will probably put him at a decent level, but I just don't know if the orbs are worth it unless you really need the stopgap. I for one probably won't put orbs into him, but yeah, but I will do a review video on Veku. I will put him in a couple bits of content just so you can see how he performs. It will be a little bit of a different review video because I think we will just take him into like different events just to see how he does at 55%. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you are watching, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, stay safe and bye.